Can you say to the American people unequivocally that you did not get this information about the DNC, John Podesta's emails? Can you tell the American people 1,000% you did not get it from Russia or anybody associated with Russia?
We can say, we have said repeatedly over the last 2 months that our source is not the Russian government and it is not a state party.
Good morning and welcome to AM Joy. Well, it was supposed to be a secret, but thanks to a court document filed by mistake, we have learned that the Justice Department is preparing to indict Julian Assange of WikiLeaks, the platform that published the Russian-hacked emails from Hillary Clinton's campaign and the DNC in 2016. The clue was found in a motion filed last August in a case unrelated to Assange, a case brought by the same federal prosecutor who's also investigating WikiLeaks in the Eastern District of Virginia. Now, it's not clear what charges Assange may face, but none of this bodes well for the Donald Trump White House. Multiple outlets are reporting that Trump is deep in his post-midterm feelings and getting very nervous as the walls of the Mueller investigation close in. Trump has escalated his attacks on the special counsel, slamming the investigation as, quote, a total mess. But on Friday, he said that he'd finished writing answers to Mueller's questions. He claims he did all by himself.
My lawyers aren't working on that. I'm working on that. I write the answers. My lawyers don't write answers. I write answers. I was asked a series of questions. I've answered them very easily. Very easily. You have to always be careful when you answer questions with people that probably have bad intentions. But no, it's the questions were very routinely answered by me. Joining
me now are MSNBC contributors Malcolm Nance and Jill Wine-Banks and MSNBC legal analysts Paul Butler and Cynthia Oxney. Thank you very much. I'm going to go in reverse order. Cynthia, what does it say to you that you've got now this secret, this information that was revealed by accident, that Julian Assange may be indicted? Does that tell you that it's necessarily related to the Russia investigation?
It doesn't. I mean, you would assume so, but let's step back and look at the way it works. So Mueller has the building block. He's indicted the Russian government, basically, for hacking the election. Now, the second block is Assange, and then the top block is were Americans helping Assange. So we're at level 2 right now if Assange is indicted. And then we have to look very carefully at what's the indictment for. Assange could be indicted under the Espionage Act, which would be one thing for the stealing of the secrets, or he could be indicted for actually hacking into the election. So once we know that, we'll know a lot more about what Mueller's thinking.
Yeah, and, you know, Paul, you've got, let's just go through who Mueller is investigating when it comes to the release, because remember, WikiLeaks was the conduit to get the DNC, Podesta, and other information emails that were stolen out. So you've got Roger Stone, longtime Trump advisor, who's worried that he's facing indictment. Jerome Corsi, who, of course, was the guy who spawned the birther conspiracy theory. He's saying that he's concerned about himself. Sam Nunberg, who we've seen on this show, who is a consigliere of Roger Stone. You have Randy Credico, a friend of Roger Stone, associate of Roger Stone, and Peter W. Smith, who's deceased, a GOP activist. And then just to go through the timeline, WikiLeaks made a series of increasingly bold requests to, including asking for Trump's tax returns, urging the Trump campaign on election day to reject the results of the election as rigged, and requesting that the president-elect tell Australia to appoint Julian Assange as ambassador to the United States. Those requests were made to one Donald Trump Jr. in DMs. So, Paul Butler, does it stand out to you that he's not on that list of people who have been reached out to?
As far as we know. So I think this is all about Roger Stone and Donald Trump Jr. All of these other people who have been called to the grand jury are about getting Stone and about getting Trump Jr. You know, this news about a sealed indictment in Virginia, so most of the places, the court where Mueller has brought most of his prosecutions is the federal court in D.C. There are 36 sealed indictments pending right now in that federal court. Now, they may be from Mueller's team, they may not be, they're secret, so we don't know. We do know that 18 sealed indictments have been filed since August. August is the time that the Mueller team went on radio silence because of the upcoming midterm elections. It could be, everybody knew that after the midterm elections, Attorney General Sessions was on the way out. Trump would be able to install his own inside man, as he's done with Matt Whitaker. Mueller, crafty prosecutor, he may have anticipated this and filed all of these sealed indictments in this event, in the event that Trump might install an acting attorney general who would try to impede the investigation.
Yeah, and you know, Jill Wine-Banks, you have a direct experience with the Watergate experience, meaning that there is always a threat that the president gets under so much pressure that he decides to just try to end the investigation or fire the prosecutor. We know that's what Nixon did. Are we at that point now where we should be paying attention to Donald Trump's Twitter handle in case he decides that he's under so much pressure that he just tries to oust Mueller entirely?
I know what it feels like to never know day to day what's going to happen next, and I know that that's what the special prosecutor is feeling right now in terms of how they go to the office every day and wonder whether tomorrow will be their last in the office. But I don't think that he's going to outright fire Mueller. I think what he may do is do the things that Whitaker has already talked about, defunding it, taking away the staff, controlling the regulations that allow him to investigate certain things, and saying, no, you cannot return an indictment against that particular person, or I don't like this case. So it's going to be a death by 1,000 cuts instead of just beheading the whole team. Yeah. That's what I fear.
And you know, Malcolm, even if you were to do that, first of all, there's no reason why a Democratic House of Representatives couldn't just call Mueller and have him testify or find a way to get the information out. And the information we already know, based largely on the part that you and I have been on TV together for like 2.5 years talking about the same thing, is the series of events are already on the record. We know that in July 18 of 2016, WikiLeaks allegedly confirms to Guccifer 2.0, which is the group that hacked the emails, that it had accessed 1 gigabyte file and will publish the documents that Guccifer stole this week. July 22, WikiLeaks releases the emails stolen from the DNC, and the Democratic Convention begins 3 days later. On July 27th, at a news conference, Trump dismisses the idea that Russia's behind the hacking, and then he makes the following request. Let's take a listen.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing.
So, Malcolm, to believe that Donald Trump knew absolutely nothing about, you'd have to believe that his friend Roger Stone, his buddy Jerome Corsi, who helped feed him the birther conspiracy, his son meeting in Trump Tower, and his son-in-law meeting in Trump Tower with that no one ever told him that they were trying to access or trying to acquire the emails of his political opponent. That strains a lot of credulity.
It's strange credulity because it's virtually impossible. You know, you're right. We've been at this for 2 years almost. I wrote a whole book about this before the election, outlining precisely what you're seeing here. What's happening to Roger Stone and Julian Assange and all of the rest who were the bridge, as I call them, between passing Russian intelligence information from not a Russian agency, right? The Internet Research Agency, which is why Assange says wasn't Russian government, supposedly a gray area operation. But they are the bridge between Russia and the United States. And guys like Roger Stone, for all of his experience, he has no idea the ton of bricks that is about to come down on his head, because now the Robert Mueller is using all of the intelligence from our allies, from other countries, from other agencies, and they are, you know, you can't talk your way out of this. If there's going to be an indictment, he's done. He may as well just come to Jesus and confess everything right now.